Welcome to reInvent and welcome to the Partner Experience track. My name is Ece İzgi and I lead the solutions architecture in data and analytics service family with our GSI partners. And today I'm also joined by my colleague Francisco, who is the partner leader in the same group in Amazon Partner Organization. So before we start, a couple of notes. This session is a business-oriented session rather than a technical deep dive, as expected from my SA background. The focus will be business and technology strategy behind data platforms and how they are instrumental in customers' enterprise transformations. So also my title says GSI Partners. The content will hopefully resonate with all types of partners. As far as the agenda goes, I will start with defining the enterprise transformations, which forces are shaping the future of ecosystems, future of industries, enterprises, business functions, and at the very atomic level, workforce and customer experience. Then we'll get into data platforms, what role they play in the digital transformation. Then we will talk about how we formulate our partnership strategies for making our partners successful in the field in customer engagements. Then Francisco will talk about specific partner programs that you can take notes about taking your data platform place to the next level. Then we will close out maybe a short Q&A after the session. If we will have time, we can do that afterwards. So we have a lot of concepts to unpack, so let's just dive right in. In the last 10 to 15 years, without an exception, each and every industry has been going through an accelerated disruption, right? Especially with the connectivity, with the mobility, making things smarter, and finally the pandemic. It's just become much more essential and vital to build responsiveness and resilience against these changing ecosystem dynamics. And when I say dynamics, what could be those dynamics? It could be operational dynamics like supply chain. It could be behavioral dynamics like customer experience, workforce experience, or it could be organizational dynamics such as, is my operating model flexible enough for me to try different innovative initiatives? Or is my skills and technology sufficient enough to meet the business demand of today and tomorrow? So this multi-dimensional set of requirements tells us that transformations are #1 priority for C-suite to survive the storms and thrive in the fierce competition of today and tomorrow. As a partner organization, we work with a variety of partners to help customers in their transformation journeys. And these partners are coming from consulting background, from professional services, software providers, managed services, resellers, distributors, etc. So through our partners, we work with a really heterogeneous set of customers from various industries that you see on the screen. So that means we have visibility to a very wide range of customer business models, what role they play in the entire ecosystem, what kind of future transformation aspirations that they have, where are they in their digital maturity journeys, how innovatively they are actually looking outside of the four walls of the enterprises to innovate. And one thing that is common across the board for customers is that each company would like to start or accelerate their transformation journeys now. And that urgency really requires building a very unique recipe for each customer, because every customer's business model is different. Their products and services that they go to market with are unique, and the players that they are interacting within the ecosystem are different. And most importantly, their organizational readiness, their technical ability to change are different. So in order to progress the enterprise customers towards cloud-based digital businesses in collaboration with our partners, we define several key levers that we would like to see improvement and change as we progress. The first one is business agility. How quickly my customers can deliver value as an organization. And the second one is organizational alignment. Is there an organic relationship amongst the customer IT department, their vertical business units, and their horizontal practices such as data, analytics, AI, and ML? The third one is modernization. With the cloud-first, digital-first strategy, how quickly they can modernize their data infrastructure to put their energy and focus on innovation, rather than spending years on undifferentiated heavy lifting. And how to cultivate innovative culture, and how to reimagine the way that they deliver market-ready innovative solutions. And finally, insights, right? Establishing a healthy feedback mechanism to continuously improve products and services that they go to market with based on the insights that are coming from various parts of the ecosystem. That could be from customer experience, from workforce experience, from the feedback from the business partners. So with all these, we have a big multi-objective function that we need to optimize. Now let's talk about outcomes as well. Since enterprise transformations are not possible overnight with one project or one program, we really need to come up with a value creation mechanism that capitalizes on the outcomes. Creating pockets of savings, creating net new revenue streams to be able to sustain the pace of business transformation and technology modernization at the same time. And when we say value creation, it really has a spectrum of possibilities to achieve that. On one end of the spectrum, we are optimizing the current dynamics of the current business models, creating outcomes that will add value through making things faster, more efficient, with less cost, to eventually reaching better user experience, which impacts the bottom line of your P&L sheet if you look at it from a pure investment standpoint. And on the other end of the spectrum, there is bringing a brand new definition to how the company should reinvent their products and services for their end customers. That means completely innovating the business model, bringing new revenue streams, redefining the commercial model, how they monetize the consumption and use of their services and products. This time, we are directly targeting the top line of your P&L sheet. So in most cases, in reality, companies actually try to do both at the same time. They try to create efficiencies in the current processes while they look for opportunities to monetize and commercialize additional services with the help of emerging technologies like data, analytics, AI, and ML, and automation. And our primary goal as AWS and partners is that we should understand the customer's business priorities very well, and helping them implement and mature the technology capabilities that will fuel their growth and profitability as soon as possible. So, and as you might guess, the pace of the technology will always be ahead of the pace of the organizational adoption and change. So, with that being said, it's proven that the most optimal approach is to establish the business strategy and then continuously recalibrate the technology modernization roadmaps based on the business vision. I referred to data and analytics so far so many times. At the heart of every digital journey, there lies the data, of course, and developing the ability to make data part of the enterprise leverage to empower enterprise transformations. As we look at the history of how enterprises use data, we see a very clear progression from being data-aware to becoming data-informed and now finally data-driven. In early days, in the 90s, the data was used to primarily report on what happened, and it was largely done through batch reports that took very long time to run, and it was primarily used by executives or department heads to look back at the past performance and make their decisions based on these data points. And when we come to 2000s, with the interactive dashboards, warehouses, visualizations, enterprises was now able to monitor what was happening and going beyond what already happened. And that kind of insights was available to more power users, in addition to department heads and executives across the enterprise, that would make insights that would plant the seeds for democratization in those days. But the data was still siloed across different systems and departments. So coming to today, a data-driven enterprise can use data to guide every aspect of the business. It doesn't now only inform the decisions, but with the emerging technologies, such as data science, AI, ML, automation, it can be now turned into automated actions, automated decisions, and optimization of these decisions to improve the business processes. And from a technology perspective, especially cloud and modern data platforms has significantly reduced the cost and time needed to store, process, and analyze these massive amounts of data coming from various parts of the ecosystem. Now, for us to move the customers to a data-driven, insights-driven, value and outcome-driven state, we need a strategy framework, which is a connective tissue that binds the data, architectural components, processes, and people. So AWS has formed this data strategy vision that sits on 6 important pillars to define what is absolutely essential for a modern data platform. So the first pillar is security. That is job 1. It's not only a concern of customer PII, it's not only a concern of compliance obligations in regulated industries, it's now a fundamental requirement for every industry to maintain trust, to maintain customer trust, customer base, and to protect their know-hows, to protect their IPs, and hence their competitive advantage for today and tomorrow. The second one is scalability. For all the reasons that we talked about, how the times are changing, how we need to be more responsive, much faster, especially for demanding workloads, right? So the third one is flexibility. In the next 5 years, how my data platform will shape up? What kind of business transformations that I will need to go through? And for future use cases, how will I recalibrate my architecture so that the new architectural patterns will operationalize new type of use cases? And the next one is governance. Establishing a governance mechanism on top to be able to put standards and authorizations and policies of how you manage the entire data lifecycle end to end. And how you design people, process, and technology against that lifecycle. And the next one is availability. The data must be available whenever and wherever you need it. That means removing all the frictions in customer experience and bringing reliability. And lastly, cost effectiveness. AWS is serving millions of customers for the last 16 years, so that brings a huge advantage of economies of scale when customers are making their decisions making certain service choices while building their solutions. Now let's talk about how this comes to life when various service families come together. When you think about an idealized modern data ecosystem of an enterprise, it's really a continuous cycle of moving the data from external and internal sources, could be through migrations, could be through data procurement, subscriptions to third-party sources, streaming, you name it. And then storing it in data lakes, databases, data warehouses, and then adding discoverability on top with cataloging and metadata management, and making sense of it with analytics, and finally digging deeper with machine learning to uncover hidden patterns that could be interesting and valuable for the business domain, for the problem that we are trying to solve. And once we have those insights from machine learning, analytics, and those actionable insights, now we are using business intelligence in the form of visualizations, dashboards, and reports to reach to people, to reach to downstream users, either customers or internal workforce. But we are not done there yet. So these downstream personas, customers, workforce, business partners, we need to get back the responses and the reactions from them when we present these insights. The way that they react to the data becomes another data point for us to capture, process, and learn from. That way, you will be able to understand how you will make your machine learning models much smarter, how you will improve your decision-making model, decision support models, and you will improve the process over time. As you see, we are going from data to insights, to action, and back to data again, and making this whole cycle and capability as a part of the enterprise intelligence. This is a more complete view of the modern data platform from a technical perspective. Could be interesting for the technical crowd here. We have data producing systems, we have data consumers, and the platform in between. When you look at the data and analytics market, you will see data platforms in various names serving to various purposes. Sometimes you will see industry-oriented platforms. Sometimes you will see functional platforms that serve a specific function of an enterprise, or maybe it could be a vertical, it could be a horizontal like CX, or it could be a vertical like maybe supply chain, etc. Or the data platform can be focused on a technology process. Think about the data lifecycle from one end to the other, right? You will see platforms for data ingestions. You will see data transformation platforms, data analytics platforms, machine learning platforms, and consumption platforms. So with the right business objective, the possibilities are endless. And some of these platforms can be purely built in-house, completely with AWS native services, or together with partners. It all depends on what the customers need and will need in the future. Now, to reach to a modern platform state, what kind of phases we need to go through? Of course, and every enterprise is at a different stage of their cloud adoption, at a different stage of their digital analytics maturity, and how they make use of their data that they have. And this is why AWS has identified these three broad phases where you can cluster your activities to have a much more clearer action plan in terms of building solutions and offerings for your customers. In the modernize phase, we are breaking down silos and bringing the scalability, trust, and security to all types of workloads, leaving the legacy systems behind. And in the unify phase, ensuring seamless integration between data systems, meaning data lakes, data warehouses, and data bases, and making sure the communication is seamless and the data movement is seamless for the analytics and AI and ML workloads to work a much more performant way. And in the innovate, of course, building new experiences and reimagining existing processes with the help of AI, ML, and advanced analytics. Now, I would like to share a couple of customer scenarios for these three phases. As I said, we are working with customers that are representing a wide variety of businesses, right? They might be traditional enterprises where they have a large portfolio of on-premises legacy resources. In this case, most of the modernization activities start with reviewing the entire data ecosystem and data estate and the application portfolio. And we will try to answer questions like, how do I prioritize what I will move to the cloud first? How do I rationalize my application portfolio? How do I prove the gains from the cloud quickly that I can secure funding for the next set of applications to move to the cloud? Or I can secure funding for post-modernization, for post-migration opportunities, especially that paves the path to innovation. And in the unify and govern phase, as we talked before, the main objective is really forming the fundamentals of the data platform, and hence integration strategy is extremely important here to make sure that the disparate data that we bring together from various parts of the ecosystem and from various parts of the enterprise are well integrated and they are telling the same story. And in the innovation phase, this is where customers have broken silos, both data silos and organizational and cultural silos, and start putting their energy and human capital on innovation. Start differentiating themselves with the data products and solutions that they build on the platform, especially through embedding the data analytics and artificial intelligence into products and services that they go to market with. Now, I would like to expand on the data products and data solutions that are built on the platform. This is where the context will pivot a little bit. Now, every transformation happens project by project, use case by use case, and in today's pursuit of speed, productivity, and incremental growth, transformations are all about maturing the data platform product by product. Because the platform itself may not mean much, but if you have well-defined organizational priorities or what you expect, what digital capabilities you expect from the platform to deliver, then it's totally a paradigm shift from project-based execution to product-centricity. And this shift in the mindset and execution really focuses on a few things. First one is nimbleness, repeatability, reusability, and the ability to commercialize quickly your data solutions to achieve fast time to market and time to value. So here is an abstraction of what I have just described. It's a busy slide, but data products are built on the data platform, and a few examples to these data products can be a data set that is curated, right? Maybe a piece of code to query a database, or maybe a predictive dashboard for a specific persona, or an ML model that shows maybe the last quarter's revenue predictions. So these are basic data platforms, and you can enhance that into more complex data platforms, like in the example that you see on the screen, it's Customer-360, right? Or you may add more digital capabilities to your 360 data products and make them fully digital solutions that are ready for the market. You may continue enhancing the data products by integrating other digital capabilities specific to the industry that you are working on. So how do we then measure the impact that we are building on the platform through data products and data solutions, right? An example to this is, let's continue with Customer-360. A Customer-360 data product can be used by the marketing department to identify cross-sell and upsell opportunities. Or product development department and engineering department may use the same data product to see how the customer is interacting with the product that the customer company is operating with. For example, if it's the driver 360 data product, how the driver is actually interacting with the vehicle and its features, so that the product development team can see where the product innovation opportunities are. So you may also go one level ahead and say that, okay, I have this driver 360 product, but what if I make the integration with the part 360, vehicle 360, and supplier 360, those domain-driven data products, right? So that way, you will have visibility to the entire business dynamics of the company, and even the industry. And you will see the touch points and interlocks within industries, within companies. That quickly takes the economic impact that you're creating with the data solution from enterprise level, from enterprise intelligence level, to cross-industry and ecosystem scale. Now let's talk about how to scale data platforms with product centricity. As you see in the maturity curve, we start with understanding the customer's readiness, which really helps us plan progression across the curve. And we also need to assess the current technical capabilities and try to close the gap in people, technology, and process. For example, a cloud center of excellence that can be paired with analytics center of excellence or data and AI ML center of excellences are a great next step to put together some standards for skills development, standards for architectural build activities, thought leadership materials, and blueprints for the builder community to build data products much faster making the learning curve pretty steep, and hence shortening the product life cycles much faster. And as we progressed this curve, we built the first data product on the platform, and then we scaled this to other business units. And when we get to the enterprise level, now the organization is more capable to build products cross-functionally, not only benefiting only one business unit, but actually being shared and consumed and reused across the enterprise. So that democratization is actually being enabled by something called internal data marketplace that AWS has come up with. Now I will touch base on this. We talked about how we build platforms and develop data products and solutions on top. So how does this product-centricity come to life, right? How organizational structures could be redesigned? This marketplace model that you see on the screen is working really well in Amazon.com, helping thousands of developers and business specialists becoming more agile and product-centric and working in hybrid teams. And it really brings a new standard in terms of redefining the roles and responsibilities and the overall governance of data and data products and solutions. As you know, traditionally, one large central IT unit was responsible to deliver data solutions, and also data governance. Now, with this model, we are pushing the responsibility down to the business to enable producers being responsible with the data ownership and governance through their domain expertises, to define what data quality means for the data that they are responsible for, and enabling consumers with the right data to build business-driven solutions. And the marketplace that you see in the middle are the builder community that are responsible for building and running the platform, building data sets for enterprise use, running the platform, maintaining the platform, and building enterprise data sets and providing training and certifications for the enterprise. And from an architectural perspective, marketplace is built on the data platform with an API-driven framework, and that really simplifies and standardizes access to the data, ensures data lineage, data quality, and data discoverability. Amazon.com, as I mentioned, has used this big data marketplace that enables thousands of developers and business experts working together on the products. And as you see from the scale, 50 petabyte to 100 petabyte of data was, the scale has improved so significantly. And globally, 600,000 analytics jobs per day was being able to run on the data platform that they built, which supports this big data marketplace. So let's bring all pieces together that we mentioned. We talked about how critical it is to define a business strategy and developing a data platform that shapes the execution of that strategy through data products and through data solutions that are built on the platform. And while we execute, we also need to get diagnostics of this whole transformation investment. So how do we measure impact multidimensionally? On the business level, how do I streamline and expedite the collaboration across business units and horizontal functions? For example, take data and analytics practice. Just let's continue with the Driver 360 solution. When I'm building that Driver 360 solution, the data is coming from various parts of the enterprise. If the business alignment is there, the resulting product will be exceptional. That means customer experience will be exceptional. And the organizational alignment. Is my IT department, is my data analytics practice, and the business units, are they well connected? Is my IT department only focused on cost optimization? What is the political dynamics behind that? Are they behaving like a cost center, or are they mostly working on heavy lifting on infrastructure, or are they overloaded with data engineering tasks, pipeline tasks? Or another scenario can be, are they trying to adopt a fresh and modernized look into how to shift from cost center to revenue center to profit center by being a fixed member of innovation initiatives? And if we double click on the modernization, especially both tech modernization and organizational modernization, how to shift from long projects that are spread into multiple years to a product culture that focuses on building nimble solutions. That really helps with creating incremental value from the data products that they produce, and how to thinking about ways to simplify the build process, how to be leaner over time, how to democratize the data products and solutions, how to build reusable data products and solutions that will benefit the entire enterprise. And finally, the insights. It's important to realize that the solutions that we build today may not be relevant tomorrow if they don't evolve over time, right? Pandemic is a great example of potential disruptors. That's why one of my favorite topics, digital resilience, is now a priority of CEO agendas. Customers want answers right away. Businesses need reliable data to serve to millions. So we really need to listen to ecosystem signals very carefully to understand how the customer needs and business priorities are shifting, how to improve the workforce experience, how to build an organic data-driven business model that would help the entire ecosystem. Now, I would like to switch the gears a bit and talk about the partnerships, how we work with our partners to build and scale data platforms. And Francisco will double-click on the partner programs that can help you accelerate these motions. Being a part of the AWS Partner Network is really a force multiplier for a partner, helping you build your technical capabilities, your business capabilities, and influence your product capabilities with AWS experts. And it also provides you the access to other partners of the network, which really unlocks new customer opportunities altogether. Earlier this year, we introduced new partner paths. You might have already received communications from your partner development managers, but for those who are seeing this first time, we previously had two types of partners: consulting partners and technology partners. Now, the times are changing. We are aware that each and every partner is in the ecosystem are constantly exploring options to enter new territories, adapting their business models to various possibilities. On one end, you will see strategic consulting companies starting implementation practices or data and analytics practices. And on the other end, you will see tech consulting companies commercializing their SaaS solutions and maybe packaging them with consulting services. So with that increasing diversification in how partners want to maximize their presence in the market, we decided to focus on the products and services that our partners offer rather than their pure company types. And we categorize partners based on their offerings and products that they go to market with. So this was announced in Q1, so it's around 9 to 10 months since it's live. That brought up several advantages so far. Now they can receive benefits from multiple partner paths that they are progressing in. They know what milestones they will hit, what are the requirements for those milestones, and what are the benefits those milestones will bring. And it brings predictability of what to expect to grow and scale your offering, and what are the requirements to progress in that path. And third, which is another important point, is it brings agility to how you engage with AWS teams who are experts in the respective paths. because AWS is also a very complex environment, a matrix organization. So this is all about simplifying how you work with AWS. Now, when we work with our partners, any type of partner, services, software, or otherwise, we take you through a progression path of jointly building, marketing, selling, and delivering. And that encapsulates a highly structured and standardized set of activities. The journey always starts with identifying the opportunity space and deeply understand the partner's business model, what are the partner's near-term and long-term priorities, which industries they are doubling down on, how do the global and regional trends and predictions look like. Harvesting all these insights and information, we narrow the scope down to a problem space that we can actually execute on. And executive team start to identify how they can sponsor certain programs for near term, how to create teams for delivery, and how to measure the success over these programs that we identify together. And finally, we set a focal use case that is a good representation of the type of the problem that the partner would like to address in their next GTM offering. Once we lock that out, we focus on the capability building. It could be either building skills and certifications and working towards competencies and service delivery designations, etc., both for technical and sales practitioners. And then we move to building a solution together. We materialize a solution, which is really a purpose-built application solving the use case that we identified at the beginning. And we move to the offering phase, where the offering can have one or more solutions underneath with multiple reference architectures, with enablement materials, with customer success stories from the implementation, from the field, so that you can build confidence against your customers. And offerings are usually customer agnostic artifacts, and they are pretty powerful scaling vehicles. Once we have the offering, like the market-ready artifact, marketing activities can be kicked off at that point, where we start identifying target industries, target accounts, and giving the offering that industry flavor or maybe a regional flavor based on what we are focusing on. And then marketing is followed by sales motion, where we enable sales teams to be successful in this last mile activities, and then hopefully when the SOWs are signed, the co-delivery phase is kicked off. And as the partner organization, we are always there to provide technical guidance, thought leadership for customer projects, but if the customer projects require hands-on and active delivery, then another option is engaging AWS professional services. And finally, the adoption phase, where the partner scales the solution across customer regions, across various facilities, or enabling the entire workforce. And once the value is proven with this GTM offering or this project and program, the entire cycle continues with implementing other use cases. As far as the data strategy and data platform goes, we have a very wide set of partner programs. Now, Francisco will double-click on those programs. Over to you, Francisco.
Great, thank you. Okay. Great, so now I'm going to talk about how to help you build solutions and platforms. Our end goal is for me, is to present you how you can engage and align with AWS for building solutions and platforms. I'm going to start with enablement, certifications, service delivery designations, and the analytics competency. So for enablements, we got trainings happening every quarter for you to train your team. We're trying to make it easy for you to attend trainings for each specific service, and also we have trainings across services for you to build analytic solutions. Then we have certifications. And for analytics, we have the Analytics Specialty Certification. I'm a big fan of certifications because it's a great way for you to learn new skills. And for Partner, it's great that you have as many team members as possible with the certification. That way, everyone is at the same level, and it's easy for you to build solutions and platforms. That is at the individual level. Then we switch to the organizational level, and we have service delivery designations. Service delivery designations partners, so service delivery destination partners, help customer implement and decide to build solutions for specific services. In analytics, we have service delivery for Glue, for Redshift, for EMR, for QuickSight, for OpenSearch, and for streaming analytics. On top of, once you have the service delivery designation, you're going to be listed in Partner Finder. And this is great because customers and AWS are going to be able to browse Partner Finder and find you. They are able to filter by an analytics service, such as QuickSight, and then your region or your industry specifics, and then find you. Then, on top of the service delivery designations, we have the analytics competency. So analytics competency partners help customers decide and implement solutions for analytics. Now, if we switch to modernize, unified, and innovate, our programs help you with these three different phases. With modernize, what we're doing is we are modernizing, migrating, and transforming the current installation or data estate for customers. The opportunity here is still very large. There are many customers still on-prem or self-managed that will take advantage of analytics services, and you as a partner can help them modernize, migrate, and transform to analytics services. Then we have unify. This is when we would like to build analytics and insights by leveraging data lakes, data mesh, and governance. And then we have innovate. In the innovate phase, what we're doing is we are helping you work with customers, leveraging your specific industry knowledge and your data analytics knowledge. So that way you can innovate and build solutions and platforms for your customers. Great. So now we have get started or next steps for you to follow up after this session. And we have 3 specific programs that I would like you to evaluate right after this session. I'll start from right to left. And the first one I would like you to consider is SaaS Factory. So SaaS Factory is a program for you to help build new products or migrate existing applications and build a SaaS offering using the SaaS model. Our teams will help you envision, design, and accelerate your SaaS solution. Then we have Data Lake Design and Educate program. The goal of this program is to help you go from idea to a production-ready solution. And again, here our teams are going to help you design and validate the solution that you're building. And within weeks, you will be moving from an idea to a production-ready solution. And then the last one is data-driven everything. This is a really, really interesting program that I will really empower you to consider this one, because this program is to help you go to your customers and create a data-driven vision to drive business outcomes with data. This is kind of a 2-step program where we are thinking big and helping you build a 6, 12, 24-month strategy and vision for data-driven for your customer. And then it's also get started and starting small, where we help you do a proof of concept and validate the return on investment for the business outcome that you want to drive within 60 to 90 days. This program has got a few workshops for you to get ready to start delivering these engagements, and they train you on how to align leadership and IT in order to deliver the data-driven engagement to your customers. Great.
Thank you, Francisco.